Anthony.
Hi, how are you?
Not too bad. I think you're a new one. I don't know if I've met you before.
I haven't met you. I'm sort of working through Ernest.
Oh, yes. Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we're looking forward to having a really interesting uh, interview.
that's
Yeah.
great.
Well, with Ernest, like what can you do, right? So,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Yes, I heard that.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did? Yeah. Hey, did you like my question about the what size of aluminum tinfoil hat do you need?
As long as it fits underneath my Harley hat. I don't want people to know that I wear a tinfoil hat.
Ah, there you go. I'll tell you, I think that'd be a really interesting, interview is get someone that makes them.
Hmm.
We have a lot down here who wear them for
Oh,
that reason.
oh, really?
I see
Yeah,
Anthony made it on the call.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm here.
I
us-
I've
figured
already
you
been
would.
chatting with Brian. You're way
Yes,
behind.
yeah.
yeah.
Brian has been the basically you and Kevin, the primary programmers for PLS.
I've been, I'm one of the ghosts in a sense.
You've always worked in the background.
I've always worked in the background, and now I'm trying to be in the foreground.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's
that's good that you've got
it,
that experience.
well, yeah, but you make money on tech stuff, right? There's no two ways
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
And but I've been kind of shadowing Ernest a little bit to to see how he does it. And there's a lot of good ideas out there, I'll tell you.
Right. Yeah.
How to do things and so forth. And Ernest, I think, is going to be sharing some of those golden nuggets today.
I've got some nuggets.
Yeah.
I've got some things that I've showed Brian. I've shown Brian and a few others, and there's some things that I haven't shown Sue or Anthony, but I'm going to kind of put it out there today. I was just chatting with Geo over on the HBA
Oh, yeah.
team chat, and he said this is, for his team and the HBA, only, no self promotions. And I said, no. I said, this is pure content. I said, no self promotion here. I said, this is going to help people in whatever business venture you're involved with. You
Yeah.
use these strategies and tactics,
Hmm.
and they're going to help your business grow. I don't care if you're doing PLS, HBA,
Or
cash
whatever.
now
Yeah.
funnels, whatever you're doing. You can be doing ClickBank, Digistore,
Yeah.
JV Zoo. Okay.
Oh, yeah. And two, that's the whole point. What we want to do is get people involved in making money online, whether or not it's whoever. It's
That's
not,
right.
we're keeping this as like an evergreen instead of, hey, I want to make $1 million
Yeah.
and I don't care about you.
If you sign up with me, fine. If you don't sign up with me, fine.
Yeah.
That's not the point. I'm going to give you access to some resources, strategies, and tactics, not
Yeah.
necessarily in that order.
Well, the thing is, one of the resources you have too is DOE. That's a
Yeah,
quite a,
we've just
that's,
been very much involved in that.
yeah. Yeah. DOE
Anthony
is,
and I have been using the DOE for about a month.
oh, cool.
I've
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
using it for about, 10, 13, 14 years. I had the early copies from about 20 years ago, back when Charlie first bought it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the newer version 1 since '07, and then this latest upgrade is version 2.
Hmm.
This is a total rewrite. It's like 3 times bigger, more resources, everything.
Oh, that's what's needed today because, really we're going into a time period where we're going to go into a deep recession and
Yes,
that's going to be an issue
absolutely.
for everyone. And I just have been working on a video for our client and I'm using an AI voice on this. If I
Right.
have the time, I'll drop this. Let's see.
Now, this is Dr. Farms coming in.
Oh, okay.
This is my buddy out of New York. Doc, unmute yourself. We're just having a little chit chat before we get started.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. How's everybody?
Now, where are you from now?
I'm in an undisclosed location.
Undisclosed.
Woohoo.
Oh yeah, that's so I can't get the lat long on him and drop one of those.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
I'm a neighbor of Dick Cheney's.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm a neighbor of Dick Cheney's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we don't follow, like, I'm from Canada, so we don't really follow a whole lot the whatever goes on in the States.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Anyways, it's interesting. In my office here, I have two towels hung on the door and towels on the underneath the door, and I got a few boxes stacked up the door because they're fixing a water heater. So I'm trying to keep out as much noise as I can.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't hear anything.
No,
As long as the water doesn't come flooding in.
well, it was coming in earlier, like yesterday, was it? Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. A lot of friends have had water issues right now because we
Right.
had quite a few rainstorms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of snow was melting, and so
Mhm.
there was flooded basements, and even Ernest, he had his issues too. Well, he always has
Yeah.
issues, but
Man, do I have some issues. Even Jeff, I know who this Jeff guy is right here. I see you, Jeff. He'll tell you I ain't right.
well, that's why they said you're from the old guard
Yes,
and
the
old
old school.
geezers club.
Yeah, that's
see,
because
what I did was I put, in honor of that, I put on one of those silk flower shirts.
yes,
And
this is
I like silk shirts. They're nice, but
yeah. This is coming from the wrangled mind.
yes. Oh, you like that term I
Yeah.
made up for you.
I don't know if it's genius or not, but it
Well,
is a
actually,
wrangled mind.
I can see that you're part genius because you just look at the back there. It's a little, you probably know exactly where everything is.
Yeah.
Right?
Everything is like, yeah, it's
Looks like my
everything is
organized
scattered.
chaos.
Well,
It
you know
is.
something? One of the issues with someone that has a high IQ is that your desk is really messy.
Oh, you don't even want to see my desk.
No, that's mine too. But anyways,
I
That's just
can't
a
even
bookshelf.
find mine.
what's that? What's a desk? Oh,
Yeah.
that's what's my
Oh,
computers
yeah.
are
Oh,
on.
that's where I
Yeah.
stack everything.
Yeah.
All right. Hello, Shalisa. Oh, hey,
Shalisa is up in Boise, Idaho, I think.
woohoo.
She's one of my students.
So who haven't I said hello to? Well,
James Dockett.
James. Yeah, he's my buddy.
James,
Afternoon.
everybody get in early because it's almost 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
And I'm sure Bryan wants to
it's
start.
4 o'clock now. Now, what's interesting is I'm going to start off like this. Mr. Ernest Odell is live with me today, and you will be amazed at the depth of knowledge of marketing and psychology that he uses to promote his products. And he calls himself the chief of the old guard, or, the geezer squad. Well, I realize that every question I ask Ernest, he's going to give us amazing answers. And, one question could take him 5 hours to discuss. But,
And that's pushing it.
yeah,
That's called a rabbinical response.
but we have limited time, guys.
Yes.
So please be concise. Hey,
I'm
I got
short
LOL on my
sentences.
notes here, so I just laughed, But anyways,
I'm taking notes.
Fake laugh. I met actually Ernest online while he was promoting a product that I helped create, and some of the videos for that product. Since I am trying to come out of the shadows, I've been studying some of his techniques to transition from being behind the scenes and in front of people.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of tough questions for Ernest. And you know what the first tough question that we have is? Do you know what it
Are
is,
you
Ernest?
recording? Are
I
you
am recording. Yes.
Oh, I couldn't tell if we were recording.
Well, let me make sure. It says recording. Okay. Well, at least,
Okay,
if I pause it, then I'm not
because I
recording.
know you like to, edit some of this stuff down.
Well, you know what I've been finding is some of the stuff that's really wonky and goes off, off the skids, actually is kind of the most interesting part of it.
Yeah.
All right. So the first question I have for Ernest is, what side of aluminum foil hat do you wear?
It's basically the same size as my Harley hat.
Woohoo! Very cool.
I just keep it under the Harley hat.
There you go. So can you tell me a bit about your background and who really is Ernest Odell?
Where I really kind of got my desire and aficionado for online marketing was right about 96 when the internet became available to the public. The internet had been around for about 45, 50 years, since about Second World War. But as availability, became to the public in 96, I jumped right in. I started learning everything I could about it. But where I started really kind of getting into the entrepreneurial side of things was back when I was a kid. Reading comic books, always went to the back, to the classified ad section. Yeah, you can get a lot, believe it or not, you can get a lot of imaginary content, the way the comic book writers wrote. But where I got my business side was those classified ads in the back.
Yep,
I always they had something in there for Grit magazine and you name it. There was always something back there, and I could send off my dime, and sell grit through the neighborhood and throw papers and mow lawns. And then, of course, when I got overseas, you had to have a work permit, in Libya. So I wasn't old enough to, do that. So we just played. But I found other ways to make money, okay, to, kind of sit people's houses while they were off on vacation for the summer. And I would go over and, tend their dogs because everybody lived in a villa. So I always made a little enterprise out of it. And then, we had boats there on the Tripoli coast where we could take people off into international waters. But I had to give up that venture one time when my younger brother and I had two sisters out on the boat with us, and their mama found out, that we were almost to Malta before we turned around and came back 2 days later. She was not real happy about our little tour business ventures into business side of things. And then, of course, when I first bought my computer, I didn't have a computer. When I got into the internet, I was using the public library's computer in Blanco, Texas, north of San Antonio. And I'd go over there, and we were allotted 2 hours a day, and I would make sure I got my 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned everything I could, as much as I could. And this was shortly after 2000, just before 9/11. When 9/11 had occurred, I had already made enough money just working 2 hours a day on a computer at the library that I could buy my first computer, had it out at the ranch with me, and everything's been history ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing that you could do that. Now, when you think about doing affiliate marketing and things like that, which you've been involved with, did you have anyone that mentored you, or is it just basically self-taught?
A lot of it was self-taught, but I do have to give some props to Willie Crawford, Ken MacArthur. I've got a list of people. I think I sent a list to you earlier.
Yes, I saw that. There was quite a list.
Some of the old guard. I haven't talked to some of these people like what was his name? Pesold. Let me see if I can find his name. I sent it to you earlier. I think it was on Skype. John Hostler, Liz Tomey.
I think that was on Facebook that you did that, because I'm looking at it right now and I don't see anything that regard to that list.
Yeah. These guys, you know, these were like 20 years ago when the internet was still kind of like the Wild West, before Google came out with their algorithms.
You mean their animal names?
Yes.
Penguin, you know, whatever.
Penguin, dolphin, whatever, mongoose, baboon. You know, it's like, what do you call a group of baboons? A congress. And that's what we have in DC. No, sorry, I got off on a rabbit trail.
You're going down a rabbit hole, you know, I'll tell you that.
I looked at affiliate marketing. I'm saying, okay, I don't have to have a website. I don't have to create a product. All I have to do is resell this stuff. I got into ClickBank because ClickBank's been around forever.
Oh, they have been.
And I said, oh man, I said, I got this. And then I started figuring out, I built my own group on the old e-groups and the Yahoo groups, bought it. And I had one of these groups called 100 Grand a Month Club on the Yahoo groups. It wasn't long before I built up something like 200 million subscribers. There was a bunch of them came out of Japan.
Right.
The downside to running that group, of course, was it was unmoderated until I figured out how to moderate. Okay, because people were just pounding and spamming, you know, and your emails, you know, with junk. So I learned how to moderate, and then I learned how to build a list. And I said, I don't want to send them directly over to a product. So I learned how to use front page and build some websites in very raw code.
Yeah, that was a really old program. Front page.
Dreamweaver.
You know? Oh yeah.
I learned how to build some websites and put things together. And as Corey Rudel, who was basically the granddaddy of the internet marketing community before he got killed in that racing accident, I got all of his stuff. He said, build a list, build a list, build a list. He said, all you need is either email or name an email.
Right.
And you can set it up. So I got the mail loop program from the Internet Marketing Center, IMC, and I started promoting it to other marketers and made quite a bit of money. It's like $197 for the mail loop autoresponder. And I made 50% commission. So I made $98.50, you know, and I was selling that thing like hotcakes. And even if you didn't have a business, I could show you how to set up a business and plug it into mail loop and show people how to, you know, do segmentation with it and everything.
Right.
And we were getting on GoToMeeting calls back about 10 years ago. So it just kind of progressed. I just went through, I figured out how to catch the name on a bridge before I sent them to the offer.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of
that was a key though. That one right there, a lot of people weren't doing that. They were just sending them to an offer and not trying to capture, like, let's face it,
there was no follow-up.
Yeah, there was no follow-up. I did that years ago on ClickBank too. You know, you just advertised it on Google and, you know, everything was good at that time before an animal came out.
Some things like, you know, working with publishers in certain categories over at the DOE, you might get away with doing that, sending them over directly to a native ad, advertorial, blog post, website with a sales letter, a VSL, something like that, and then link it to a page where you can capture their information before you actually send them to the product.
Right.
Okay. But
well, here's one thing.
Send them directly over to a lead capture page. A lot of these services like Google and Facebook, they won't let you do that.
That's right.
So you gotta send them information first, give them content,
Hmm.
answer their questions.
Yes.
Then somewhere in there, you might have a text
Hmm.
that is embedded with that link or a byline. And
Right.
this is where, of course, article marketing comes in. If you're into writing articles, then write articles. If you're not, let AI do it for you. Get
Well,
Jasper.
believe it or not, I was playing with some AI stuff. Even today, I was doing AI for basically creating a voiceover for a client.
Right, right.
Now, here's one thing you mentioned about native advertising. Now, I know different ones that are even in the marketing aspect of it. They have no idea what native is. Can you explain what that is?
When you subscribe to someone's newsletter, let's say, for example, Newsmax or CNN, you are focused in on one particular area. Maybe you want men's or women's health issues through Newsmax, or you're interested in community development, self-development, maybe on a CNN channel or a Fox News channel or a Newsmax channel. You can be, it doesn't matter what political spectrum you sit on, independent, Republican, Democrat, it doesn't really matter. But what you're looking at when you subscribe to something is they send you an email. You're a targeted lead. You're an opt-in, okay? So they have a couple of 100,000 a day going out, targeted leads. You read the article, you get a synopsis in the email. This is to read the rest of the article, you click through. When you come to the full page article on the web,
Right.
you see ads over on the side, maybe a banner at the top, and maybe interstitials down at the bottom. And then you got these little things called eye candy,
Yes.
these weird things that, it creates the rabbit hole effect. It might not even be associated with the article, but it might be, something that says the allegations against Dolly Parton have been confirmed, and you click here and it's totally something else.
Yeah, I know.
I call it
Bait
the
and switch.
Inquirer, yellow journalism of the internet. Okay. And that's a native ad.
Mhm.
Okay. And it's a very complex system, but there's a lot of it cheap. You can use native ads on Taboola and MGID and some of these others. Nativeads.com used to be owned by somebody else, but now it's called nativead.com or nativeads.com. So, you'll work with a manager to
Right.
this is not something like Solo Edge. You don't go in there and just plug what you want in. They will actually help you get it placed in the right place. So what you're looking at on native ads, when you're reading that article and you see something in there, the banner that is usually centric to that topic, let's say you're looking at a crypto site and you have a
Right.
crypto offer and it's being put in. All right. Now, if you want it pushed into native, they can make some eye candy, and say something like, BTC is coming back, it's going to roar back, or Hex, or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
What they won't do is you won't see an offer for like dog care products showing up on a golfer's site. Vice versa, you won't see crypto showing up on a work-at-home mommy blog.
Mhm.
Okay. But if it's news about crypto, let's say you're pushing a crypto, then a banner ad and an offer for a crypto educational service,
Right.
not an investment. You got to match the product. This is one of the things that I was talking to Anthony about yesterday or the day before, matching the product to the audience.
Right.
Okay. So Anthony is real heavy into health issues and leaky gut and stuff like that. Well, if you can't find a product, for that particular subset,
Mhm.
leaky gut, let's see if we can't find something for weight loss, and then look at your demographics. Okay. So in that DOE, you got health and fitness,
Mhm.
and there's I don't know, 129 publishers alone just in that category for health and fitness.
Well, it's a big category, really.
Yeah. And then all I have to do is make sure that the banner sends them over to either a text landing page or a video sales lander, what we call in the industry of VSL.
That's right. Yeah.
So, then, you have a targeted audience. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. It's really good to understand that.
And native ads can be plugged in through that. You can have an ad plugged into a native network.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what you're
something
looking at,
Taboola, right?
yeah. What you're looking at on the website when you're reading something and you see all these little ads come up on the side or the top or interstitial in between paragraphs and the eye candy down at the bottom, that gives you the woof effect.
Yes.
That's a native ad.
That's it.
You're down the rabbit trail. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I've been there a couple of times, really. You click on it and say, hey, they didn't even explain what I was looking for.
Hey, I'm distracted by Dolly Parton all the time. I've been in love with her for decades.
Yeah.
So anything about Dolly Parton, I want to click on it.
There you go. When you think of AI, do you think AI is going to actually take over the marketing and affiliate world?
I don't think it's going to replace humans, but here's what AI is going to do. This is kind of a yes/no answer. I don't think AI is going to take over. All right. Otherwise, it's going to just sit back and make me a lot of money and I don't have to do diddly. No. AI is going to do about 99.999% of the work for me, and then I can go in there and tweak it and put my voice to it. I can massage it and make it my own. What used to take me 8 hours to put out an article now, I showed Anthony the other day. It only took me about 30 seconds.
Well,
30 seconds. Well, I showed you the other day,
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
with the downtime that we had on your router.
Yeah.
What was it? 30 minutes start to finish on a blog post up on my blog.
I did basically the same thing with a video. I made a couple of videos. They're short videos, but the content was reasonable, but you had to go tweak a bit. So
I don't think it's going to replace human interaction, but it will speed things up. And this is one of the things that I've learned to do with my publishers who do a lot of advertising for me because I write a lot of content for them. I've only got about 15,000 articles in my inventory.
Oh, that's all?
I can just go and do a search, pick it up, tweak it, massage it. I'll run it through AI, Chat GPT, and see if I can't massage it, spin it, what we used to call article spinners. I would spin it, okay? And then I would take it in text, go through it in Notepad, and then I would throw it into Word, PDF, make a report out of it, or put it up on the blog.
Right.
Start to finish, 30 minutes.
And that's amazing. I remember, what was it? Ace was telling us that she would do 2 blog posts a day at 2,500 words per. How much time would that take? It's a...
And when you get somebody that's looking for good quality content and you can provide them one a week and they give you free advertising, that's called a joint venture.
Yes.
All right. And say, I can write you some good content for, let's say, the aftermarket automotive. I can find all kinds of content about automobiles, used cars, new cars, technology, EVs, petroleum, global warming, you name it. Okay. Anything associated with cars.
Right.
Massage it through AI and then pull it back out and put it together. Speed read, even if you're not a speed reader.
Right.
Okay. If you spent 1 or 2 hours a day just working on one article, you can sit there and get this done, submit it, and they like it or they don't like it, and they say rework it. Very few times, very rarely do I ever have one come back. As long as it's informative, and you've got, here's another one, precious metals. When you do articles on foreign exchange, Forex, binary options, precious metals, gold, silver. Dr. Farms and I were talking about silver and gold earlier this morning, and how, the people should have jumped in 10 years ago when
yeah.
silver was $3 an
Yeah.
ounce, and now it's $30 an ounce.
Yeah.
And and silver is becoming a very good investment. Well, write some articles about it, push it through AI, Jasper, whatever, take it back out, tweak it, 30 minutes to an hour, 2 hours tops. You got a new article, submit it to a particular publisher who is into precious metals and investments, and you can make some money at it.
Yeah. And those are amazing ideas that we're giving us.
Get your byline, make sure, because most of these people that I work with, all of them in the DOE will put your byline in. Back in the old days, I got a report that I'm working on right now. Back in the old days, you had to work independently before the DOE. You had to make sure that they put your byline in there. They had some that wouldn't do it. Okay. And that's when I quit writing for them.
Well, it only makes sense.
With every publisher that I've worked with in the DOE, I've never had them cheat me because they want the business.
They do.
They want the content. They're going to treat you right. They've been researched.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, for sure.
I wish Charlie was on the call with us right now. That guy is a phenomenal genius. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that I had a question of, what would be the best tip for someone who is totally broke? He wants to make a few bucks. He wants to promote something, but he has no idea what to do. What would you suggest?
Is he in a small, in a system that he needs to make, or she, to make money? My solo ad vendors are probably not going to like what I have to say, but solo, and I told Dr. Farms this today, solo ad clicks don't stick. This is, the biggest thing I hear people complain about is, I used to have 10 or 20 or 100 people and they've all dropped out because they didn't see. You're reaching the wrong people. You're talking to the wrong audience, okay? If you want to go and preach on the street corner, you're going to get very few people to hear your message, all right? But let me give you a better example. Let's say I'm an opera singer, and I do sing opera. I used to sing with the Tulsa Opera, okay? And that's verifiable. I used to sing bass. If I go to a country and western bar with a violin, and I start singing, "Don't you drive farfallone amoroso," they're going to say, "Man, I've been drinking too much. We got to get this guy out of here." Because I'm singing to the wrong crowd. I'm singing to the wrong audience, okay? But if I do that in center stage during La Noche di Figaro at La Scala, they're going to say, "Questo americano può cantare in italiano." Wow. They're going to say, "Man, this American can sing in Italian," because I'm talking to the right audience. All right. So getting back to marketing, if the guy or the lady that wants to get people to stick and they can't afford some of these tools and resources to help reach the right audience, then I say, okay, wintertime's coming up. Go out and rake some leaves, or get somebody to rake leaves for you and cut them in, or shovel snow. If you're living in Canada, you probably got a lot of snow up there.
That's almost
or in
all
the
gone
summertime, mow lawns. I've gone out when I needed extra money. I just needed some mad money. I went out and mowed lawns. Even at my advanced age, I went out and mowed lawns. Throw 1 or 2 mowers in the back of the pickup truck, gasoline, and take off and just go knock doors. There's always somebody that's too lazy to mow the lawn. And you want to learn the right message, okay? You don't promote yourself, but you promote them, okay? What can I do to help you? So what do? You go and knock on the door and you say, "I noticed your yard is getting a little high, and the city compliance division is going around ticketing homeowners. Would you like for me to get this down before they come by your neighborhood?" Yeah, I said, because, I can do it for $50, but the city's going to have it done for about $200. I can save you $150. Yes. When can you start? Right now. I just earned $50. Go to the next house. Call your neighbor down the street because I'm coming. You know, you can be busy all day long and do 10 lawns in a day. You'll wear your ass out, but you know, $500 a day. Now you got some money to go buy those resources.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's for sure.
Because the
you're showing,
resources are an investment.
and that's showing that you have initiative, and that if you actually do this type of a work, you're actually going to be successful.
Yeah. And I was doing this, what, 20, 25 years ago. When I was in Blanco, Texas, I think I worked 3 or 4 part-time jobs. I never had to go out and look for a job. People were always asking me to come to work for them. It didn't matter if I was working down at the truck stop or a convenience store, the video store, video rental store, or the hardware store. One of the guys that I knew real well, a friend of mine, he says, man, we need some help over at the hardware store. And I knew hardware, I knew plumbing. He said, why don't you come by and fill out an application? I didn't even have to fill out the application. I just put my name, address, phone number, social security number so I could get a W-2, you know, because I knew the store because I was always in there buying stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I knew the people and I knew the owners.
Yeah.
You know, they said, yeah, just give us your W-2 information. That's all we need. Go to work.
Well, that's the way to be able to get a job. I'll tell you. That's for sure.
You prove yourself. Okay. Well, yeah. And I can understand that it's a lot easier when you're younger, when you're 30, 40, or 50. But you know what? When you're in your 60s and 70s, you just have to work a little bit harder.
A little more thought involved.
You have to think. Yes. You have to work smart.
Yeah.
But you still have to get up in the morning before the rooster and the hen and go out and catch those worms. Okay.
That's it. You're going to be the one that's going to be, you know, some of those worms on a golf course, they bring you a lot of money.
Yeah.
For those that wanted to go fishing, right? Now, here's one other quick question is, if you're going to suggest an autoresponder, which autoresponder would you suggest?
If you're starting out, I'd say get the PLS system and get the PLS autoresponder. Okay. Granted, it's got a 30,000 per month limitation on outbound, but most people are not going to have a real big list to start with anyway. Here's the thing. You can tie in AWeber and or GetResponse and use both of them on different pages. You can host everything under one umbrella with the Power Lead system, but, you know, starting off, you know, like I think I have 2 gold accounts that have, I don't know, 200 or 300 leads in them. Then I've got another gold account that's got close to 3,000. Then I have some other accounts on other autoresponders and other systems where I've got 30, 40, 50,000, 17,000, 18,000, and they're segmented. Okay. Another one, a little over 320,000, a little over 500,000 overall. Okay. Subscribers. When you start getting real big in PLS, then I would start putting everything over into AWeber or GetResponse, because now by then you can afford things. Cost-wise, the best option is Traffic Wave. Even though Traffic Wave doesn't have an API for Power Lead system, you've gone in there and done your little magic, you know, and show people how to, you know, plug it in. So we really don't need an API.
No,
we just need to see how to plug things in, because AWeber and GetResponse and just about all the other ones, MailChimp and iContact, Constant Contact, the price increases according to the size of your list.
Exponentially.
Yes. The nice thing about PLS and their autoresponder on that system is, yeah, it has a cap of 30,000 per month, and I can usually do that in about 2 or 3 days. Bam, I got them out. For starters, it will get you started. What you want is to get some good pages on share codes in these funnels like Cash Now, Fire Your Boss. I've even built a system for the HBA, which is much simpler than using HBA. I mean, for a new guy, Leads Leap and HBA can be a little complicated because it's new. It looks complicated. It's not once you get used to it.
No, that's true.
But once you have somebody that can build a funnel for you and share the code to you with Power Lead system, you just plug it and play and run. Okay, this is why I like Frank Calabro's Cash Now funnel, because it's all built on the PLS, share codes, and then it's up and running. Okay. I think in a week's time, I had about 300 different lead capture pages, all based on the Cash Now funnel. Different themes and backgrounds I was always testing. And they're still there. Anybody wants them, they can go get them.
The
But
power
for
lead
starters,
system.
I'd say PLS power lead system and that autoresponder. Once you start growing, then I would say graduate. It's kind of like going through school. Graduate from high school, then you get your bachelor's degree, then you get your master's, and then your doctorate. Okay. And move from, I keep PLS as my main toolbox, but I might now connect it to AWeber, and another segment, I'll connect them over to GetResponse, and then another one, I'll connect it over to MailChimp, iContact, Constant Contact. I have to do a little coding in there, traffic wave.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
have to
true.
do some coding on that.
For
But
sure.
you do have two options in Power Lead System. So for favorite autoresponder, I'd say I'd start off for beginners.
Hmm.
You don't have a product, you don't need a product. Get into Cash Now or the LGA with a gold, and then put it on targeted publications. Yes, solo ads is a great way to build a list, but they're all cold. You might not get them to stick, but they might be interested in something else. That's where you've got to remember to monetize your list, follow up, wake up that dead email list, just like Greg Davison showed you. Wake up a dead email list. Maybe it might be an offer for a crypto offer. It might be for a weight loss product or another system. Who knows? You never know what people sign up for.
That's for sure. It's really wonderful having you on here. I was wondering if there are some here. If you'd like to unmute yourself, you'll be able to ask Ernest a question. And
I'm getting on the hot seat.
You're going to be on the hot seat.
Well, I know Jeff is working right now and he's listening in, so he's muted. So, and Dr. Farms, we were talking earlier about, no, Jeff over here is Jeff Spangler, my buddy up in Ohio.
Okay.
He sent me a Facebook message. He says, "I'm listening. I heard you." Because we got this personal joke, inside joke,
Okay. So if there was one thing that you really want to promote yourself, now would that be something along the line of tools? Because let's face it, tools, when there's a gold rush, tools are what sells. And that's who makes the money. Or are you one that likes to go for the gold versus selling tools? Which would you do?
I'd like to say both, because the tools, PLS is my main toolbox. I use that to promote just about everything. I have over 890, almost 900 funnels within the Power Lead system. Some of them are more profitable than others, but I used to sit there and I'd bang out a funnel a day. Okay.
Yeah.
A funnel a day keeps the debt collectors away. Okay.
Yeah, the bankruptcy people.
Yeah, even if it's only making you a couple of $100 a month here and there, you might make a couple of $100 a month with this product. You might make $1,500 a week, which is $5,000-6,000 a month with another thing. I've had some stuff that I was running through some of these performance networks that were paying anywhere from $18,000 to $40,000 a month, because I'm reaching different markets.
That's
and I
right.
just use PLS to build the funnel for it.
Yeah. So that's the one thing with PLS. I've actually been playing with some of the others too myself, because, some of my clients, I use ClickFunnels and things like that. And what I find that with Power Lead System, just from my own experience, is I know how to use it. It's easy to use. Because I'm a creator, I create my stuff outside of Power Lead System and I bring it in. I know what to do, what not to do. These other ones, there's still a learning curve. So I'm comfortable with the Power Lead System personally.
Yeah.
And that's where I think a lot of people that come in, they feel that, well, if I can't get it working within 2 weeks, I'll just get my money, I'll get my $1 back or whatever, right?
Well, they're not going to even get the $1 back.
No, they're not.
That's an enrollment fee. Okay.
Yeah.
They might get their gold back,
Yes.
They might get out of LGA, but here's the deal that I make with people. I'm kind of like Ben Settle. You know who Ben Settle is?
Well, you better explain it to everyone.
bensettle.com. He's a copywriter. He is like the ninja of copywriting, and he doesn't even need AI. This guy would put AI to shame. He puts out a printed newsletter every month, and you unsubscribe, you're out permanently. You can never get back in. All right. He doesn't let people come back in. He can track you. All right.
That's a smart move, actually.
And I have the same policy. When people drop out of my Master Marketers Academy, bye, sayonara. You know, it's all business.
No, and that's what you want to do.
We can still stay friends, but you'll
Yeah.
never get back into the academy, and you will never get the deep dive. This is why I tell people, I said, you've got to go through a learning process. Now, you can do this one of two ways. You can go through the next 20 years like I did, or you can spend the next 8 weeks with my personal coach over at superaffiliatemarketers.com, because that's going to redirect you over to John Crestani. What
Right.
I've done in 20 years, it's only taken him about 10.
Oh, yeah.
And he's done far better than I've done. All right. So you want to work with, I quit coaching. I still have a few people that I coach and I work with. I work with Anthony. I work with Jeff. Dr. Farms, we were talking about, doing something. We're looking, at some option for him. And I've worked with Sue. I've done Sue's down in New Zealand. We get on the right time zone. I can log in, do a Zoom call with her and, kind of walk her through. But that's what friends do. We help each
That's
other.
right. Yeah.
It's not like she's an academy member or a student. She's not a client. Shalisa, I work with her. I don't know, about once or twice a week.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I've noted about you is you have a kind heart.
Well, thank you.
Because you have been
Anthony
helping
would probably
other ones.
disagree with you because I'm always beating him up. I'm a little rough on Anthony sometimes, and he comes back.
Yeah. You know something, though? It's a friend can tell you things that someone else can't.
Yeah. And a friend will tell you things that you need to know that nobody else will care.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for sure,
If I didn't care, I would just say, okay, go on, I wouldn't say anything.
Hey,
But I do care if people fall through the cracks.
Yes.
So you ask, in one of the questions, what is my big why?
Yes.
What is the reason why I do what I do? Okay, because I've got other people. It's not about me. It's kind of like, Frank Calabro helps people. It's not about the money. It's not about him. It's not about me. But if I can do a little bit to help someone, maybe a friend who needs a washer because she's got 3 kids that she needs to wash clothes for, or somebody else needs a new car over at the parish because their car's broke down and it's just a money pit, It really kind of depends on the need. But if you can save one person at a time from falling through the cracks when they really need help, and you got to have a little bit of discernment there, okay? Because some people will take you on the dollar bill train and take you for a ride. Yeah.
I think we've been all there at one time or another.
My name is not Samson, and I don't have any Delilahs in my life. Okay.
Yeah.
I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. Okay. So when I start feeling like somebody's trying to take advantage of God's graces through me, that's when the channel gets cut off.
Right.
Okay. But if they don't have to give me credit, I don't need credit. Okay. I don't need to toot my own horn.
Yeah.
Anybody else does, that's fine, But I don't like to see people fall through the cracks,
No.
when you can do your part. It might not be much.
No.
It might just be, bringing a box of food over to them from the food bank or something like that, to tide them over for a couple of weeks.
Well, it's even comes down to, even if you say hello to someone who's lonely, right there made their day.
Yeah.
A lot of times you go on the street
or even smile at them.
Yeah. A lot of times you go out on the street and they're looking like a grimace or whatever, and you smile and say hello, and they look back at you and look a little strange, and then they see a smile, and that's a good thing.
I know some people don't like to just open up and chat with anybody. I'm not. I don't always do that, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I walk into doctor's office, and I'll just kind of see people sitting around, they're worried.
Mm-hmm.
Laughter, believe it or not, is the best medicine. And sometimes you just have to say, you're all probably wondering why I've called this meeting to order.
Mm-hmm.
And they start laughing because it kind of lightens it up because, they're worried. They're there for heart problems or cancer.
Yeah.
You never know what these people are worried about.
That's
Okay.
right. Yeah.
But if you can be a little comic relief, and put a smile on their face and maybe laugh,
Mm-hmm.
you've brightened up somebody's day.
Oh yeah, no, it's for sure. What do you find though in doing affiliate marketing? How does that help the ones that you've been teaching? Have they been really getting a good traction of being able to do that, or maybe even making just enough to pay the bills and so forth? Do you find
I have some now. Sue,
she had to see that.
thanks,
Yeah.
Sue. Appreciate it. Some people will get out there and hustle.
Yes.
Okay. And they'll make more than their mentor and tutors.
Yes.
Others, they won't even do the basics. And, after a while, I can do some for them, but here's the problem. If you do for them, what you're doing is you're giving them the fish. If you teach them how to fish, they can go out there and do it themselves. But if they give up fishing, they quit casting. They say, well, I didn't catch any fish today. Okay, well, maybe you're fishing on the wrong side of the boat.
Yes.
All right. Throw your nets over on the other side of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what the Lord told the disciples? He says, throw your nets out over here.
Yep.
And, when you start bringing it in, you go, oh my goodness,
Yeah. But it comes down.
They're just fishing on the wrong side of the boat.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to tell people about buying from certain solo ad vendors. There's a bunch of them I won't buy from.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some that I bought from before. I won't buy from them again. And you've got to be really, really good for me to even run a test with you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best solo ad vendors out there. Okay. All they're selling is clicks.
Yes.
But a true solo ad is one that lives forever on a publication's website, who's going to have multiple eyeballs on it every day,
Mm-hmm.
different times of the day or the month, and it's going to live. I got stuff out that's 20 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's an ad or an article that ran solo, which
Mm-hmm.
is it ran by itself. That's a true solo ad.
Mm-hmm.
A solo ad that's written now and they won't tell you where their sources are. It's bye.
Could be robots,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them are.
Yeah. Well, the one
Or
thing that
low quality buyers. Okay. Low price
that's
point.
true. Yeah,
They're not targeted.
No. Well,
There's somebody that filled out a form somewhere on the internet and they harvested them from a safe list. I know where they're getting them.
Yeah.
And I know where they're getting it because, I've taken the courses. I've paid for the courses. I know these people and what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I know where these sources are coming from. You can build a list. You can build a big list of opt-ins,
Mm-hmm.
but are they buyers?
Yeah.
No.
Few.
Their first name is
Lou.
and their second name is Lou.
Yeah.
Okay. What is their occupation?
Tire kicking.
They're tire kickers. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it's interesting. The one thing you can also filter out a lot of people with is whether or not they'll stick for 4, 5, 6, 7 months at something. Because let's face it, it takes time to be able to develop the way to do these things. And when you really do that, if you take the time, it's like I explained with one time that about building a channel. I built a channel to 2 million views within a period of about 7 months. But I was doing it. I was doing it every day and doing something every day to build that channel. Like how many people really think when I'm in affiliate marketing, am I going to stick with it and be consistent doing it every day? Can I take 2 hours every day? Do you think someone could make something if they stuck 2 hours a day at it for a period of 6 months? Do you think someone would actually make any money?
I'd like to share something with you along that line. Okay. I usually tell people, and I want to give a shout out to Cindy Tilson Anderson. I've been working with Cindy for close to 10 years plus when we were doing the freebies tech support. And she's in Power Lead System. I signed up under her. This is where I have my account. Okay. I signed up under Cindy.
Right.
And for a long time, I just used the tools. I never made her a whole lot of money. I mean, she made $20 a month off of me. But it was when Frank came out with the Cash Now funnel, and there was something very important he said in the orientation in the 45-minute video. And I tell people, I said, whether you have the money to do this or not, if you don't have 45 minutes to watch that and then watch the other 3 steps, don't sign up.
Right.
Okay. Don't bother. Okay. Because if you don't have the 45 minutes, you will not have the 12 months that he tells you. You do this steady, follow the same strategy for 12 months, 12 to 24 months, you can get to 100 grand a year. Okay. 100 grand a year is not a whole lot of money. Okay. That's a little better than some people. Most people are making $24,000 to $50,000 a month on a W-2 job. All right. 100 grand a year is not a whole lot of money, but if you learn how to scale right with the right fishing on the right side of the boat, not fishing on the wrong side of the boat.
Right.
Okay. You can make money with affiliate marketing, internet marketing, whatever. But if you don't have the money, you'll figure out a way to get it. You can go out and mow lawn, shovel snow, whatever, rake leaves.
Yep.
Okay. But if you don't have the 45 minutes to listen to someone who has done it, then, I tell them, keep your money.
Yeah. And that's basically what's going to happen. So they'll lose their money. But actually what they'll do
because they're going to opt out anyway.
Yeah.
They're not going to stick with it.
No.
And I told Cindy, I said, I am in this for the long haul. I had it figured out in 2 weeks. I had PLS figured out. I dove in. I learned everything, watched all the courses, all the videos. I learned everything in 2 weeks, and I was up and running. And I've been with Cindy for 4.5, going on 5 years now.
Right.
On this one account. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Cindy. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's
because
excellent.
she signed up, I think, under Karin Petty, and Karin was under Sean Powell or something like that. So we know all these
and
people.
Sean is also underneath Frank Calabro.
Yeah. And I invited Frank and Sean, a bunch of people. I didn't put it in the group because, they don't like cross promotion.
No, I know.
And I told him, I said, I'm not cross promoting. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be pitching and propping, some of the stuff here. For beginners, if you want to do this, you can get in touch with me. I got some good beginner stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But the reason why PLS is basically my favorite at the top of the list is because it's been working for me so well. Once I learned it and I built the funnels, I can take stuff and I can build a funnel and say, okay, here, go grab this share code and plug it in. That's all you got to do. And if you get stuck, call me. Yeah. I'll set up a Zoom call and do it for you.
Yeah. Well, one thing that Ernest did, which is quite interesting, because do you realize that you can't just share a link in Facebook for anything, right? There's some links that they'll just get you banned. So
they're already blackballed.
Yeah. So what happens is Ernest puts it into either a text file and sends it to them through.
Oh, you're giving away my secrets.
Yeah, yeah. And one other secret I'm going to give away.
And the PDFs.
Well, that one I sort of helped you with, I think.
Yeah, I've been doing PDF reports for years. I just don't
but not
have
within Power Lead System.
No, I just don't have them as nice looking as yours.
Anyways,
yours are much nicer looking. You got all those fancy covers on them.
Yeah, well, that's because I do art,
the flip books.
Yeah, I like the flip books. They're quite a nice piece.
I've got some stuff to send to you. I'm going to send to you and let you just chop them up and put them together.
Oh yeah, no problem.
I'll let you repackage them.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that for you. The other thing, now you're making me forget things, like I had this one, oh, there it is. Now I remember it. What it was you put in a redirect on a domain. So in other words, you get by some of the issues with Facebook and others.
As
So
long as you don't overuse it.
Yes, well then
Because
they
even
use
then,
AI.
yeah, even Facebook algorithms, the Facebook spiders, I like to feed them in a positive way, but sometimes if you include the redirect in that refresh
Yes.
code,
Yes.
they see it.
Yeah, that's a meta tag refresh is what
it's the
Ernest
meta
is using.
refresh. And if they see it too often, too fast, they don't even give you a warning.
No.
They don't say, "Whoa, cowboy, pull the reins on this horse." They just shoot the legs out from underneath your horse, and then you're in Facebook jail for, See,
Whatever.
this is why, if somebody asks me for the link, I'll send them the redirect. Okay.
Right.
If they ask me for something like that, I can send them the actual direct link to the lead capture page or the product itself if they want it.
And that will work quite
as
often.
long as they ask for it. Okay.
Yeah, and
but
because if they don't ask for it,
I'm always testing and pushing the envelope.
Well, there's some ways of using JavaScript and PHP and so forth that you can do an auto redirect on there, so it's interesting the different tricks that you can use. But I thought that was kind of nice that you're using those tricks to try to get by some of the issues, which was really good.
Yeah, because I'm thinking exponentially. Here's an example. I got one domain. I'll say just go over to this blah 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 .com, and I said it's going to open up 2 tabs. It's going to open up the primary, and then I'm going to use an open dot.
Yes.
In the code of the page. It's not a redirect. They're actually going to open up the second page, and I'm saying, look at both of them, okay, and close whichever one or both if you're not interested, whatever. But I tell them up front that it's going to open a second tab.
Right.
All right. In the browser. I don't care what browser you're using. It's going to do. I use the HTML open dot, and I've got some old tools here on my computer.
Well, that must be because you're old.
Yeah. I've got there's a program called Webmaster Tools.
Right.
3.0.
I remember that, but I don't remember much about it because, like it was
Sawpit, scripts and redirects, JavaScripts and HTML. Man, you can get some really fancy stuff going on. You just got to remember, if you're using the HTML code, read your code, because if you leave one bracket or forward left bracket, it won't work. Yeah,
and it's the same thing with any programming language. You could miss a dot, comma, or something like that, and the code just crashes.
Here's another little neat trick that I was showing Anthony the other day, and Jeff one night, is with Chat GPT.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And Jasper, it'll do some programming for you.
Yeah, they have JavaScript.
Make me a redirect, HTML redirect for this particular link, and make me a meta tag refresh redirect with 0 counter.
Yes.
Or write or compose. You got to be very specific with your instructions.
Yeah.
It'll sit there and now tell me, do it in JavaScript.
Yes.
You copy, cut, and paste, and put it in your document, and
you're done.
You're off to the races.
Yeah.
I didn't have to learn anything.
No. Well, that's what's interesting about that AI. I've been playing with it too. It is amazing. Like I've run into a few issues because I'd love to be able to do some reviews and things on different products, and it comes up and says, "Sorry, we don't do reviews for these products."
Right. Yeah. It's smart because, it won't get into inflammatory content. Right. It tries to stay neutral politically, religiously, and all that, which is probably good.
Yeah.
The thing I want to stress to people listening to this right now about AI, artificial intelligence, the key word is artificial.
Artificial, yeah.
Okay. It's intelligent but it's still artificial. Okay.
Yes.
Use it as a template in your basis, but always massage it like you're making a
Yeah.
good bread dough. Knead it, make it your own. Okay.
Yeah.
Put your own voice to it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I found with the AI myself, is they're taking a lot of the information from 2021, sorry.
Right.
Some of the information that I picked up for YouTube, because I've been playing with YouTube and so forth, I noticed that there were some issues because, it was only telling me about the 15-second short. And now you can actually have 60-second shorts on YouTube. But they never said anything about a 60-second limit
Right.
on it. So that was one thing. And there's a few other little things that you have to actually change. Sometimes, like when you're writing yourself, you write a lot of different things. Your voice isn't in it. So it's maybe a little more sterile, a little more commercial, a little more, it doesn't have the emotion that most types of writing would have if it was from a human. Like, you don't get that, hello, I'm here, I'm mad, I want to get even, or anything like that. You don't have those types of things. It's very level, it's that the emotion just isn't there.
Yeah, this is why you've got to go back and put your own voice in there. And this is where, okay, in particular instances, I might disagree with certain copywriters that
Yes,
you don't have to use profanity
you don't, no.
in your copy, but sometimes I do drop one. Okay. I might use the Irish version of shite. Okay. Or I might put something else in there, like a PH asterisk CKIN apostrophe. Okay. So the implication is understood, because AI will not use
Any
just
of those words,
absolute profanity. Okay.
Yeah. Which I'm
think
quite
that's a
thankful
rule
for.
that they put in. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because if you're a good copywriter, you're going, if that's your way of going. I don't like to have a lot of 4-letter words and drop F-bombs and stuff in my copy. I don't think it's necessary. Okay.
No, well, the thing
But
is,
if you do, you might want to abbreviate it.
yeah.
Or
what my theory is, if you're a good copywriter, you can make anybody buy anything with words, and you can influence them without any of that profanity. Profanity is basically, I look at profanity like this. Do you like rotten fish?
No.
Do you like the smell of rotten fish?
No.
Okay, so what if you had all this in your mouth and you see all this rotten fish coming out, the stink and the smell? That's what I envision when there's a lot of profanity.
Yeah.
So I think of it as being an issue. Now, there's a lot of people out there that couldn't give a care what they say, what they do. But if you look at some of those ones that, one reason I didn't do one of the programs was I went on one of their things, and they're using so much profanity.
Is this one that we cleaned up?
No, this was something else.
It's different. Okay.
This was an actual company that was a while back. And guess what? They are not in business. And guess what? They used NPL to be able to make it so that nobody complained about them.
NPL or NLP?
And so,
neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah, that's it. So I got it backwards.
Yeah.
But
I knew where you was coming from.
Yeah.
NLP.
And where I got that information was from Max Steingart, because I edit his stuff, and he would explain about these different ones and this particular company. He actually talked about it, and that's why that company didn't get sued, because they shut down and they were using NLP on these people to try to keep them from messing with them. Yeah. So, there's a lot of challenges out there right now.
Yeah.
And most people don't realize it, but a lot of times people use things like neuralistic programming language types of things to try to influence you to purchase something, because not everything is an absolute need. It's usually a want.
Right. People buy based on emotions, not on logic.
That's right. And so if you can kind of tweak it a bit, and tweak the color, you tweak the language, you tweak how people are talking, and tweaking all of these things, you're going to get someone saying, oh my goodness, this guy, he's got the world by the tail. like he's
Yeah.
broke and doesn't have a dime to his name, but
One of the early copywriters that I learned to write from was Dr. Joe Vitale.
hmm
Because, he was, I think he said he was homeless in Ohio or Houston. And I met Dr. Joe over in Wimberley, Texas, when he moved to Wimberley and Austin. When he was in the movie The Secret, I had him actually come as a guest speaker for one of my presentations one night when it was my turn to get a guest speaker. And I did some PR work for him for his book that came out. One of his books, actually a couple of his books. But we sat down and talked at one of the writers' parties. We had a little writers' party where we were sitting there smoking cigars and sipping on some Jack Daniels. Actually, we were sipping on some Weller and water because that was, high dollar whiskey. And we were just having a good writers' conference, talking about some of the things that we were doing. I learned from him by buying all of his books, and then I brought them to the book signing, and I'm saying, I'm buying several copies of your new book, but I want you to sign all my old ones. So I got autographed editions. I learned a lot from him. In the copywriting genre, he's solid. I don't get off into too much of this law of attraction, secret woo-woo,
Yeah.
The genie's going to plop a golden egg in my lap. No, I don't get off to that. And I read a lot of Grant Cardone and Ray Edwards. Okay. Reason why I'm saying that is because I'm looking over here. And Rami El-Batrawi, multi-billionaire, used to work for Adnan Khashoggi, the Saudi arms dealer.
Right.
Rami has a private channel on Facebook, and he does stuff with Ken Walls and Glenn Morshower and several other people. We've got some big names in there, okay? One of the things that I learned from Rami, okay, on the self-improvement side was he wrote a book that was based off of Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, but he wrote a much smaller book and says, can you really think and grow rich?
Right.
Okay. And he tells his story, how he came down here when he was like 14 or 15 from Canada, and how he lived on the streets, and he knew where he was going, what he was going to do. He just kept his mind focused on his target and his destination. I never set goals. I set destinations. I'll say, if I'm taking a trip from here to Houston, I'm saying I've got a destination. It's Houston. I said, Houston is not my goal. So if I don't make my goal and I don't arrive in Houston, I'm going to say, I'm going to blow it off and say, well, it just wasn't meant to be. No, that's what you can do with goals. You can blow them off. Sour grapes.
Yeah.
No, but if you set a destination and you stay the course, and this is why I tell people, if you don't stay the course for at least 12 to 24 months with, some of these things, I don't care what you're promoting. Stay the course, stay focused. Don't get off into a bunch of shiny objects, okay? Don't get distracted. Master one tool before you progress to the next.
Right.
Before you can learn how to run a backhoe, you got to learn how to run a shovel. Before you can run a shovel, you got to learn how to run a hand spade. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. A little gardening spade. You got to progress up. All right.
It's kind of like I used to make jewelry, and then I had basically a system where I could make cabochons. I could make cabochons, but the next jump from there was the faceting gemstone. So you learn how to do the basics. Then you learn
working under a loop.
Yeah. Then you learn how to do the master stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is, I say the PLS is a good system for starters, because you get so many share codes with it. And if you want to promote a ClickBank product, let's build a funnel for it.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's been a number that have actually done that, doing the ClickBank products and things like that.
Yeah.
I think what happens is a lot of people get off on, well, we want to promote Power Lead System. They're not thinking of what else can you promote, because this is a tool. This isn't really something that you just promote itself. You're not just promoting itself. You want to promote, okay, I do coaching. Okay, promote it. I do yard work, promote it with Power Lead System. A lot of people don't realize, in a sense, Power Lead System is hosting. You can put as many domains on there as you want, and you have a host where you can now build web pages promoting. In fact, when you think about promoting leads for different local companies, because that's kind of the thing right now, a lot of people are doing things for roofers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
they only
agency
need one,
work.
Yeah, they only need one page.
That's right.
Right? So
you can host it for them.
You can host it for them. But a lot don't think at that level. They think at the level of, well, I can do this, and this is all I can do, but it's not true. You have to just branch out a little bit. You have to work hard. And if you take that 2 hours a day, you're going to get somewhere at some point, right?
A big group of my contacts in my network of connections are real estate professionals and insurance professionals. One of the other things that I was looking at is some of the dentists that I work with. Some of them have websites. Some of them don't have an autoresponder. They don't have a lead acquisition system. And, I say, I can build this for you.
You know who actually did that years ago? Was Bryan Kiplinger.
Bryan Kiplinger.
That's in his story.
It's in his interview.
He had bad teeth, and he needed
$40,000 worth of teeth.
Yeah.
New teeth, implants, and he did it all with barter.
That's right. It was amazing.
And this is one of the things that I've talked to about some of the, I've talked to some of the dentists that I know. And you got to start small, because you start getting up into cardiologists and doctors groups. They're too busy to talk to you unless you're a patient.
Yeah.
But who needs to opt in to a cardiologist email? Well, do you have somebody on your staff that can write? Or I can write for you, and you can probably do it make it reasonable. I can write one article a month for them for $500 a month. Where are you going to get advertising like that? And then put up a page and have people, subscribe to your newsletter.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or once a week, depending. You got to be creative and think outside the box. You want to talk to dentists who have low budget for advertising, or doctors like cardiologists, or PCPs. Maybe they got a bigger budget. But if a doctor or a chiropractor, like my chiropractor, they know a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Stuff. Okay. But do they have time to write all that stuff? No. So if you can give me an outline, I can put the stuff together for you, submit it to you for your review, and acceptance. We could put this up, because maybe you've got too many patients right now that you can't handle them all. Okay.
Yeah.
I know my chiropractor is booked up. He needs to be in a group where he could have some associate chiropractors. Beauty salons. Here's another one. Beauty salons. The people, they own the beauty salons, and the other hairdressers come in there and they rent the space.
Right.
Okay. I've got some of these people on my blogs.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
I get 20 or 30 comments from some of these people, and they show different hair designs. I've flipped them where they originally, this is something else. You guys are going to love this. You don't have a blog? You need a blog. Okay.
Yeah.
Because what looks like spam, and you go in on your WordPress on the back end and say, you just mark that spam. You just
this is another one of your tricks. I remember this one.
I'm going to write some notes down. All right. James Dockett, Shalisa, Paul, Jeff, Sue, write these down. Write this note down. If you're running a WordPress blog and you get spam comments, that's a plus. You know why? Because if you have all-in-one SEO plugged in as one of your widgets, you're going to get some good SEO. You're going to get some rank, put good content up. Eventually, you're going to start attracting spammers. Okay, nothing wrong with it. It's how do you handle the spam comments? Do you just mark them as spam and delete them? No, flip them. How do you flip them? You put your stuff in there. And I'll show you
I thought
exactly
that
how
was
to.
genius, you know.
I'll show you how to do it. Okay, if you're a member of the academy, I'll show you how to do it in a private coaching call. Because this stuff is not black hat, it's not gray hat, white hat, it's not hacking. It's just flipping the algorithms and feeding the spiders good bread.
Yeah.
So instead of just marking them as spam, use them to your advantage, because it doesn't take but about 30 days to flip them and turn them around. And you start actually getting, you put your domain through SEMrush and see where all your traffic's coming from and see where your rank keeps coming up. And then, of course, you want to make sure that you use the proper tags and categories on your blog post. Well, I don't write. Okay, get Jasper to write it for you.
Yeah. And Jasper is a real easy guy to work with, you just type in something and
or Chat GPT.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because GDP or GPT, it's free.
Yeah.
Well,
I like free.
I do too.
As long as you use it.
That's a 4-letter word that I usually don't like to have on my websites. It's free and only. But in this case, I will say Chat GPT is good. Okay.
Yeah.
Use it for your framework. Build your template. Massage it. Get it written out. Post it.
Yeah.
Well, you saw what I did the other day. What was it?
Oh,
30 minutes?
Yeah, it was hardly anything. Yeah.
And that's even with the router going down 2 or 3 times, because I would have done it in 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I found that a number of times with the AI, what you were talking about, I found that sometimes it crashed and then you just started over again. And what's interesting is it saves all of those inquiries on the side. So you can go back through and say, well, I saw this one was good, this one is good. And you've got all this research.
And I save it.
Yes.
I have a scrape file. I have a big swipe file.
Yeah.
I can do a Control H or a Control F and go find the keyword that I'm looking for and then start from there.
Yeah. And it really makes a difference, because I think what it is a lot of people, they're not really they really don't have that entrepreneur mindset, and they don't really understand where to start. They have basically a mindset that's, okay, I go to work, I come home, I watch TV, then I go eat, then I do this. But an entrepreneur, like I've known a lot of people that were in the business, and they're an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a workaholic in a lot of cases. I met a lot of them, and they build a business quickly because they're putting the effort in. The more effort in, now let's face it, the first few months, it's going to be a tough thing. It's going to be hard because you're trying to decide where you're going to do, what you're going to do, and all of these other things, but you just keep going. So you went and you lost $100. You went and lost this and you lost that. But
write
something,
it off.
The next time you know better. Yeah. Right.
You write it down and write it off.
Yeah, that's it. But
keep track.
That's the trick right there. Keep track, because
keep notes.
Keep notes on it, because if you do the same thing again, it's not a good thing. Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Here's your questions.
Yeah. Notebooks.
You use notebooks, write it down. I think a lot of people have gotten away from learning how to communicate properly. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to write out their notes. There are some people, they'll take a notebook, set it beside their bed, and they wake up and they had this huge idea, and they write down the information. Those ideas, you never get them back if you don't do that, because when you go back to sleep, you forget. I remember a lot of times I'd be sleeping away and I go, oh man, that was really good. And you go to sleep and you're going, oh man, what was it?
I'll remember it in the morning. No, you won't.
You won't, no.
Because as soon as you get up and jump in the shower, it's gone. You done wash it away.
Yeah.
But even if you write down just 1 or 2 words,
Yes,
it'll
that'll
jog,
give you.
it'll jog the subconscious
Yeah.
and bring it back.
Well, in fact,
Because
there's
your subconscious never sleeps.
no. In fact, I have someone coming on. I think it's here's my scheduling for these. You know, I have a guy coming on. Where is it here? Matt on the 13th, but he's going to be in 9 o'clock in the morning a.m. Eastern Standard Time because that's the only time I could get him. He talks about how to remember better. You know, like one of the suggestions
These memory experts.
Yeah, what he was suggesting is, you know, when you go in for a test and you're going away and you're trying to, you know, at a university or college level or whatever, you're writing down, you go, oh no, I know this answer, but I don't remember it. What he says, just go and say, well, you know, I'll remember it later and then go on to the next question and
That's right.
then work on it and
Don't
continue.
get stuck.
Because what will happen is if you would get, you say, well, I can't remember it now, then right there, you won't remember it. But if you say to yourself, well, you know, I'll remember that a little bit later, you have a better chance
Then
to
you
remember.
can come back.
Yes, that's right. So that's what's going to be an interesting interview that I'm going to have.
Yeah.
But a lot of different interviews, like I learn a lot from different ones. And that's by talking to the individual. You know, when we go, especially when we're talking back and forth quite often, right? We come up with ideas that we're mindstorming in a sense, right?
Yep.
And here's, you know, Ernest, I'm telling Ernest, you know, this material that we just did would have cost people thousands of dollars, like the ideas we came up with, right? But that's because we're taking experiences from each of us, or if there's another person in on that conversation. Now it's, you know, one mind has so many ideas, but 2 minds, you mix them together and your number of ideas exponentially goes up.
Yep.
You know, so anyways, it sounds like you're getting tired. I must be wearing you out.
No, I sit in one position for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I have to get up and move around. My next purchase is going to be one of those stand-up desks.
Well, you know something? Yeah, I've seen those. Those look interesting, but you know, I don't know if I'd be able to carry all the stuff that I've got on my desk.
Yeah, yeah, I'd have to put it on my desk.
Yeah,
it'd have to be much bigger than the desk that I'm using.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Well, you know, I really appreciate having you on, Ernest. And you know, we had some really quiet people today. They really didn't you know, come in and ask questions, because I'll tell you, if you can pick Ernest's mind, you'll actually get some nuggets.
Now's the time to do it.
You know, and do you know that there's actually on here where you see the more for Zoom, you can actually is it more or whatever it is? Anyways,
there's chat.
Reactions. In reactions, you can actually put up things like hands, you can put up things like thumbs up, all kinds of things. You know?
You can raise your hand
so
like
if you
I just did.
You raise a hand or whatever, I can see it. And what
All
we'll
farms
do,
got it up.
you know, we'll be able to, oh, hey, Paul, do you have a question?
Yes, sir. My question is going back to, going back to 2005. That's when I slowly started getting, falling into the affiliate marketing. And going to all the, a lot of the heavy hitters that Ernest was talking about, and trying to get, like, some crumbs here and the crumbs there. And a lot of that stuff was, I went through this actually, really grinding, figuring out between the what they're saying, and trying to figure it myself. But anyway, so making a long story short, from Facebook came online about
2007.
Around 2007, exactly. And I remember the guy was offering a course that was like $400, talking about Facebook and this and that and so and so. But from that webinar, and I paid for that course, and others, it led me to article writing and posting on the old WordPress and a bunch of stuff, and then me trying to build websites and all that stuff. But anyway, somebody had contacted me off of something I had posted way back then on LinkedIn. A post that I had posted, and and it had like the heading. I guess the what's the word? But pretty much you would read like I call it attention gainer. Like one or two sentences. And you click here, and you actually will take you to the full blown article that's in WordPress,
Mm-hmm.
and that's going back, to the old SEO um, um, genre way back then. A lot of that stuff was new and all that stuff, and then going back to Google is and
Doesn't work that way anymore, does it?
No, see, but
Got a
the
little
thing
more
about it,
advanced.
all that stuff way back then when everything was all the pieces was coming together. But you had the Google and everything. Both of you had named. There was almost like just fragments out there, and there were some people, gurus that really had got it together and like boom. And I was just pretty much like that bird dog, because it all made sense. Everything they were saying. So I was out there, trying to pull it together, and went to the, just affiliate marketing with ClickBank and all that stuff. Okay.
Let me ask you a question, Paul. Did you find yourself working on a subdomain of WordPress where you were limited to post affiliate links? Because they would slap you for that. Or did you have a self-hosted domain running a WordPress platform?
Both. Because I started with one because when I got exposed to WordPress, one guru it said like, well, you could try to have your articles like no more than like 800 words, right? And way back then, all like the webinars that I went to, everybody was saying, HTML, is rich. It makes your content and HTML. It kept drilling that. And then from all of that kind of led me to going to the web hosting, and we talking about way back when GoDaddy was just like nobody never even heard of GoDaddy, but I was that bird dog sniffing, trying to get some pieces and put together. But to say all that now is totally different now. And even though a lot of my old stuff that which I had like, had put out there, it's still floating out there, just like every now and I haven't done it in a couple of years. You kind of just search yourself, do a Google search of yourself, and all kind of like all this old stuff way back then that they pops up. I'm like, oh man, this stuff's still out there. But I mean, it's a lot simpler now, but back in the early days, you're searching and trying to put the stuff together because I believed in the technology. Because Ernest, as you know, way back when we were in the military, a couple about the World Wide Web, you hear like little buzzwords hearing every now and then, like, what is that? Nah, never mind. Mm-hmm. But it's only like certain gurus will have access to really put this thing together and whatnot. So, make a long story short, so now my question is, okay, with all of that going all the way back to the early days, because going back to the early days, I was working, just dedicating like at least 12 hours a day, just trying to pull the pieces together, and even though during that time frame I was and still is a professional network marketer, a lot of them, back then was like looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, what are you talking about? Because you're talking about a whole new different paradigm. But I'm like, but wait a minute, this paradigm right here, this internet and affiliate marketing and this and this and this and lead capture and building a funnel. This would help the network marketing business more,
They didn't know
because you
what you were
bring,
talking about, did they?
they sure didn't, because you're bringing,
You were using terms that they weren't familiar with.
exactly. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, a
No,
lot of
stick to the,
a lot of network marketers really wanted to avoid it because they thought the belly to belly was the way to go. But the reality
exactly.
is, going to LinkedIn or to Facebook or something along those lines, if you get them to know you, like you, and trust you, then you'll be able to promote whatever you want. The trick was not to promote your product. It
Yeah.
was to try to get them involved in a conversation. You continuously ask questions, and then you go from there. Like with
Yeah.
Max Steingard, what he would do is he would write different things and basically ask a question after they made statements. He then asked a question. And then eventually what you do is they'll ask you what you do. And then you say, well, I'm on the internet and I have an amazing company that in another 2 to 3 years, I'm going to be just retiring. So, and then just leave it at that. And so then ask them, so what do you do? And then Max actually has a lot of scripts, and he has a scripts book that for an, MLMer or network marketer or whatever, that really helps them to understand exactly how they can contact and talk to these types of people. So it's interesting. In the Power Lead system, you actually get his endless free leads program for free if you're
Yeah.
a gold level. And if you haven't looked at that, I would highly suggest that you go over the material. Now, it needs to be updated a little bit, but the thing is the principles are there. All of the
Yeah, it's
principles are
still
there.
evergreen.
Yeah.
And here's one of the things that I wanted to ask Paul. Looking back in retrospect over the past 20 plus years, 15, 20 years, all these gurus that you've found that provided all these, I call them canine distractions, that take you down different rabbit holes, but they never give you the rabbit. Do you look back in retrospect and see that a lot of them are no longer around? Number one. Number two, that they just didn't know what they were talking about. They were rehashing somebody else's garbage. I found that a lot with some of these people. This is why a lot of them, you don't see them anymore. The old guard, the big names, they're still out there, but they paid their dues and now they're enjoying the fruits of their labor. Whereas the young pups, now they're coming along and saying, I'm going to start over and learn it all by myself. Well, no, maybe you need to go back and look at the old guard and the big dogs. But I found, and maybe you can share with me, do you find any of these old gurus that taught you this, that you paid information for, looking back in retrospect, do they really know what they're talking about?
Well, with me, I call it to, like anything else in business.
It's a learning
I mean,
process.
you got to pay your dues.
Yeah.
You just can't come to somebody and say, here, teach me this, regardless of what price you may offer them. They might say yes, they might say no. So, I mean, because again, I'm talking about going back in those days, courses was like $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, right? And then a lot of courses was crap. And you sell the course and then you go through it and they're like, yeah, okay. And I'm still not getting no type of I'm not selling no product, and I'm still not really getting the type of hits. I'm still getting the tire kickers and and this and that. Well, how much is your profit again? Your product again. So it was a learning.
You were fishing on the wrong side of the boat.
Yeah, that too.
But they didn't tell you how to fish on the right side of the boat.
All this stuff was new, And I knew I believed in the technology, me being the nerd that I am. And so I said, you got to pay your dues, and that's that. And then, like I say, like one guy may say, well, okay, my course is $5,000, so on, so on, so. And I'm like, okay, look, that's what the other guy said, and the one before that, and so on, so on, so. So a lot of stuff I had to go and figure on my own, and so on, so, and then getting into ClickBank with the publishers there, and this and this. I'm like, was just everybody's doing the same setups and all this other stuff. So it's really, you really don't have no
There's very few people that you want to work with out of ClickBank.
Yeah, that's true.
exactly.
There's
So
very
you
few
don't-
products that you want to work with, whether they're
Mhm.
CPA or RevShare. RevShare, what I mean by RevShare is the residual monthly
Yes.
renewals. You make a commission off that. The one-time shot healthcare products, weight loss products, that's a good CPA. They make good money for you, but even those run in cycles. But there's a lot of, if you look at the gravity, the product, if it's got a high gravity, what that's telling you is that at least that many people are making at least one sale a week. Okay. It might be more. It might be one person making 100 sales out of the gravity of 519. It might be 519 making at least one sale. It might be someone like, I'm not going to say his name because he doesn't do interviews, but a friend of mine over in Bloemfontein, he's selling some, low to mid ticket products off of ClickBank and making $1,200, $1,400, $1,500 a week with it. Okay. He's selling a lot, but they're anywhere from $20 to $40, $50 commissionable items once they're sold. And it's how he's doing it. But I don't see where a lot of these products that I've got listed in one of the books that I think if you downloaded those books today, you went over to the website, you should have the links to those PDFs, because I did get notifications, when you signed up on the 1 million hits. There's some products in there that have little to no gravity, but they're good products. They don't pay a whole lot of money, but they provide extra value within that free report. Okay. Whether I make a lot of money off of them or not doesn't matter. It's just that I'm giving that value to the person who downloaded that book. It might not have a whole lot of gravity because it's just not selling, and it might be taken off of ClickBank. They might drop it. I don't see where they have any returns, and that's another thing you got to take into consideration is how many returns and refunds. They got the stats on there. You can look. Well, I still put some low ticket, mid ticket, and very few high tickets, because what I'm doing to get people's names and or emails is provide them what we call a lead magnet. Okay. Because your email and your name and email is currency. It's money. All right. What are you going to give me for my name and email? Okay. Am I just going to redirect you over to a VSL and show you a system where I want you to sign up and put $20 a month in my pocket as a gold member? No, I want to give you some value first, okay? Because if you see where I'm giving you value, and I used this system over here called LGA, PLS, Cash Now, whatever, to do this, you're going to say, you did this with that? I need to do that too. Okay. See, I've already showed you the value. Show people the value first. Okay. It's like that money. What was that movie that
Show Me the Money?
Show Me the Money. Yeah.
McGuire.
Yeah. McGuire, based on a true story. Show me the money. All right. Show them the value. All right. Of what you're doing. And that's a learning. It took me, I want to say about 2 years to kind of get it. A friend of mine, he's no longer alive. He passed away years ago, but he kind of showed me this. based on Safe List. Safe List, you know, they're old technology. It's old school. You get a
But
bunch of
yeah,
tire kickers.
I went so many safe lists.
You can get a
I'm,
lot of
I'm, I,
leads on Safe List,
you
but
know, I'm,
their first name is Lookie, and their last name is
mhm,
Lou, and their
mhm.
occupation is tire kicker. Okay, but still, you can still build a list with them. All right, and you can still progress them if you give them something of value, because out of that, you're going to find some people who are going to pick up on it and they're going to run with it. All right, you're going to have, let's say you buy 1,000 clicks on a solo ad every week. That's a little bit of money, you know, to spend on cold traffic. But what are you back ending them with?
Mhm.
How are you monetizing? Are you giving them something of value for them to give you their email address and or their name so that you can personalize that autoresponder? What are you giving them in return? So, you know, it's like when I sent people to that link for the 1 million hits, I didn't send them directly over to an offer. I sent them to a bridge page and it says, check your email. I've just sent you the links to download your free reports. It's all about strategy and tactics.
Mhm.
Okay. Give them some value so that they have a reason to give you. Now, if you wanted to put a tripwire, we all know what a tripwire is. Lead Lightning is a tripwire.
It definitely is.
$7 once. It's $7 once off tripwire. You resell it, you make $6. Okay, it's not a whole lot of money, but it's still a tripwire. All right. The big ticket tripwires like MTI, Diamond, and Platinum, they're a little bit more expensive, but it's a once off. All right. The residual is, of course, on the gold and the LGA side. But how do you get people into your funnel? You use a lead magnet. Okay. Because I want to attract you, I want to magnetize you to my offer. All I need is your email. Now, whether you stay in my autoresponder or not is another matter. You can always unsubscribe as soon as you download the stuff. It's free. You can do what you want to with it. But give value. All right. Get in there and give them something of value before you take their email, which is money. Call it what you want to. Before you take their money, give them some value,
Yeah, and
because that email is money.
yeah, that's pretty much it. Really, when we think about it, emails, that's worth millions to many people. Like if you have a list of 500,000 people, you definitely will be making money, specifically a small amount each month from that list. And that's, I
You
think,
might
where,
make 50,000 a month. You might make 5,000 a month, depending
yeah,
on the quality of this. You might make $500,000 a
yeah,
month, depending on the quality of the leads.
yeah. The better the lead, the better the amount that you're going to make, the more you're going to
Yeah.
make, you know. So
And
it
out
looks,
of that, you could probably get them into subscribers and memberships.
yes. And like really, if you have your own membership site, you're going to actually probably make out better than if you were, promoting someone else's, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing I think a lot of people don't really understand that I've noticed over the years is that the higher the amount of money that you're given, sometimes the more difficult or the understanding on how to promote it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they give you the money.
Yeah.
If you're looking at something like Amazon, what does Amazon give you? Maybe 6%, and some
If
of it's
that.
1%. But it's because people buy on Amazon, and it's even like when you think of some of these other products, if it's a low amount that you're getting, you're actually finding that they sell better than some of the other ones. Now, ClickBank is kind of a mixed bag. You can sell some of it it's hard to sell, to be frank. But I remember you were telling me about my secret lead gen secret stuff.
Yeah.
That those are low end ticket people that are going in there. So what are you going to do? Are you going to promote a high ticket
Mm-mm,
you're
I tried
probably
that.
you're
Didn't
you're,
work.
you're probably not going to get it, but you
Didn't.
promote a low ticket. Now, I've been noticing because I've been
I have a
trying.
confession.
Mhm.
I tried it. Didn't
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
I've actually been trying some of this stuff now because I looked at it and I went, oh, cool. I sent out a couple of things and I had 120 clicks over to something, a product, but you're not getting sales because I probably don't have the writing down correctly to try to motivate them before they do it. But they clicked over to that product. And I'm
Hmm.
going, oh, this is interesting.
Now you
Now,
know you got to work on the website.
now you got to work on something to
You got to
make
work on the
them,
metrics.
you have to work on it somehow. But
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised because I tried my lead gen before and my secret lead gen or whatever it is.
My Legion
Anyways,
secrets.
and I
Yeah.
got
MLGS.
no opens. And then I remembered what Ernest told me about it before is you have to go at a specific type of a ticket, and that's low ticket or something that makes them want to open it for some reason. Now I'm getting opens. I can't believe it, but I'm getting click-through rate of like on the opens,
Yeah.
and I'm getting
Let
higher
me,
opens.
I'm going to open up here real quick.
Oh, one thing, Ernest, um, send me over the DOE link that you have, and I'll put it on the YouTube channel. Now, anybody else here, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, be great to have you on there, and it helped me out because it's a new channel. Because really, I've been only using it for some research, but now that I'm doing these interviews, I want to try to build it up a little bit. So if you want to go over there, tell your friends, everybody. That's it. But like, is there something that you would like me to put on the YouTube channel under this particular interview? Let me know, and I'll put the links down below, in the
Yeah.
comments for you, Ernest, because I really appreciate you coming and doing that. And you're going to say something else, but I kind of cut you off like at the knees.
That's all right. What I was going to say is, and I had to close some tabs to get some of my bandwidth back. But I do my lead gen secret every morning. I do it for me and Shalisa and Karen because I have their login credentials, and
Nice.
I'm not gonna share the credentials. What I am going to share, okay, is some of the opens on subject lines. Okay.
Oh, you know something? That's important because on an email, the subject line is one of the most important pieces in an email, because if it doesn't catch their attention, you're not going to actually read the email. There's no way.
Yeah. All right, so let me do this real quick for the benefit of everybody on here. I'm going to share my screen, host disabled participant screen sharing. So what you'll have to do is at least allow me to do so. You're muted, Bryan.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
That was the new word with Zoom that came about during the pandemic. I'm sorry, your lips are moving, but I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Now let me just look at this here. Sharing
You'll
options.
probably have to go in sharing options. Or
Yeah,
edit.
that's what I'm doing right now, and you should be able to share, I think, now.
Okay, I'm going to share my full screen. I'm not going to share sound because I don't want to take up a whole lot of bandwidth. All right, now here I am.
We're still
logged in.
seeing Ernest Odell has started sharing his. Oh, there we go. Excellent.
It's a little slow in the uptake. Okay. So here, what I've got, and you have to manually do this every day. They give you like 23 hours.
Yes.
Every 23 hours, not 24 hours, but every 23 hours. So if I go in at 8 o'clock this morning, then I've got to remember to go back next morning at 7 o'clock, then the next morning at 6 o'clock, next morning at 5 o'clock. So that's what I usually do. I'm up at 5 o'clock every morning. If I get up late, I got to remember that I got to start backing up. So here you'll recognize this one.
Oh yeah.
From
There
the
you go.
wrangled mind of pure genius. And then I sent it out to a big list.
Mhm.
Okay. Opened so far out of 52,200. This is a relatively new account. I think it's
Mhm.
I had it on hold for about a year and then I restarted it.
Mhm.
At 1,100. So far, 2.1% open rate, 12 clicks, not a whole lot. Okay.
Mhm.
Review directory of e-zines, 13, 45 opens, 78 click-throughs. Okay. 2.5.
Mhm.
Here, okay. And of course, you got to look at the date, 12/28. That was a Wednesday. Okay. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays are usually very good days for open rates. Okay.
Oh, cool.
So I had 40,000, 50,400. I got 4493 opened. That's an 8.9.
Mhm.
Not much. 392 click-throughs. Okay. Clicks and opens. And then, of course, you click sent.
Right.
If I go back in time, I start looking at the subject lines and I run some of these subject lines. If they're a winner, I'll run them. Okay.
Mhm.
Would you like to get access to blah, blah, blah? All right. Click that. Would you like to get access to over 92 million buyers? It
Mhm.
was a real short 6-line solo ad. I wrote a solo ad for MLGS.
Mhm.
I got some sales off of it. Okay.
Oh, really good.
Yeah. Because they do have a few entrepreneurs in here who think beyond low ticket. All
Right.
right. So they don't see $197 once off as a big expense. They see it as an investment.
Right.
All right. I could expand on that. I could,
Mhm.
I could expand on that. All right. So sometimes I use their first name and I'm going back when my lists were smaller, weird experiment. Yeah, I try some. Some work better than
Mhm.
others. Some don't work at all. Like this one. Calling your friends and family in MLM doesn't work. Stop it. Okay.
Mhm.
And then I just went into a long diatribe. Look at that. Okay.
Yeah.
This is back before Accelerate fell apart.
Yeah.
Okay. I was promoting Accelerate Fuel Times.
Mhm.
Okay. They haven't fired me yet. They haven't terminated me yet. I've
No.
been trying. They did kick me out of their group.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I went to call into question. All right. So here's a little trick that I tried from Greg Davidson.
Right.
Question.
Mhm.
Or I just put their name in there.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, because then if they just have the name in there, they're more curious to see what you're doing.
Yeah. Curiosity kills the
Mhm.
cat. I shouldn't say that. I like cats. It tastes pretty good
Satisfaction
if
brought
you,
it back, though.
yeah, yeah. Well, they taste pretty good if you fix them right. Jeff is going to kill me for saying that. Jeff and Connie.
Yeah.
All right. So you go back and you look at these and you want to say, okay, how do I see which subject lines worked the best?
Mhm.
Then I'll go through and I'll just take it like this. I'll hold my left mouse key down, scrape all that down to here. Okay.
Mhm.
Do a Control C, open up my spreadsheet. I'll put all of these tables into a spreadsheet because I can't download them. I can
Right.
download the leads, but I can't see the open rates on the leads. Where
Right.
do I get my open rates? I get them here. I throw them into a spreadsheet. And then I run pivot tables. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, everybody says, well, I don't know how to use a spreadsheet and pivot table. Oh, okay. That's okay. You don't have to be a nerd.
Mhm.
Get somebody to do it for you. Get one of these college kids over at the university. They're always trying to make, a little money.
Mhm.
There's always some kid over there in the computer science lab, says, oh man, yeah, I can do that for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Pay me a couple of $100 so I can buy some beer and pizza for the weekend, and I'll run you a pivot table and send it over to you.
Mhm.
Yeah, You can get college kids over here at Tech to do anything for you. Okay.
Yeah.
But I just keep going back and I'm looking at, okay, 9.2, 8.8, and of course the subscriber list was, the send list was much smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So, this looks like, oh, looky here, 4,274, 10.9%. What this was, are you ready to make your first 100,000 in 12 months?
Yeah.
Cash now. Okay.
Yeah.
I was doing this, for the cash now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go back and I'll run it. And here's one, how Staples checkout girl. This is for Ace and Rich.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
10%.
How Staples checkout girl quits to earn 106,000. See how? Okay. 10.9%, 10.01. So I play around and test every day, and sometimes I'll let it run for 2 or 3 days. Sometimes I'll change up the title, excuse me, and sometimes I'll go back and run it again. Here's 11.18. Are you ready? Let's see, 10/19. Trying to think what day that was. I'd have to look at my calendar. October 19th. So I just keep going back and I look at this. I throw it in a spreadsheet, run a pivot table on the title, see which subject lines run the best on percentages when I do a data sort.
Oh, there's one where it's 11%. 11%. That's amazing.
And and if you don't know what day it is, highlight it, right click, search Google, and it'll give you the day. So you don't have to look back. Okay. October 16th of 2022 was the 289th day of the year. Okay. And what day of the week was it on the calendar?
And there you go.
And there's the 19th. It was a Wednesday. So, I go back and I look, okay, some of my best rates are on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You got to learn how to use certain of these free tools like Google, the internet. Okay. So if you want to know what day of the week was this one, okay, 11.222, 10/7, October the 7th, highlight, go in here. I'm going to show you guys some tricks. Okay. This is hacker grade, under the hood, deep dive. What day is October? Because they'll even show you sometimes. Go in there and say, open up a new tab and say, what day of the week? No, don't want that. Let me
no,
go
that's
home.
a little...
That was too much information. 11/07/2022. 11/7/22. What day of the week was Monday? Okay. Mondays, sometimes it's a little strange. So you pull up. No, that's July. I didn't want July.
Nope.
I thought I was getting 10/7. Okay. What day? 11/7. Let's say 10/7/2022.
That would be July again.
Let's go to what day of the week was October 7, 2022. Righty.
There you go. Yep.
Okay. So sometimes, Google is not the smartest engine and neither is Bing.
None of them are.
All right. Yeah. I use Bing a lot. But search engines, they give you a broad range and sometimes they give you the wrong range. It's like getting directions from your Google Maps. They'll take you the long way around town to get to something that's just, So I want to stop sharing and go back to our conversation here and just say, there's lots of tools out there that you can use to find out information and tweak your copy, find out which days work the best. And you might have to make manual notes. Make manual notes. See
and
what
two,
works the
it's
best.
not just only the day. Sometimes it's the time. There's specific times that people respond better than at other times. And knowing, because even
that's why I like the perfect timing over it.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing, perfect timing. And
Yeah.
I've been getting an amazing amount of actual opens, clicks, and so forth. Because I was amazed because I consider this to be poor quality, basically leads at this point. And
Most
so
of them are. They're low quality.
yeah, so the fact that we're getting some traction on them, that's a really amazing thing.
You know, and this is something that I pointed out to Shalisa, is that you might not get, even on low quality offers, you might not get a whole lot of signups from MLGS, but you're still talking to people who are looking for a tool to make money. So why not promote MLGS
as a tool?
Start building up some affiliates under you in MLGS because it pays like $5 a month on the first level.
Yeah, that's right.
And build up a repository because, even Frank Calabro did it, he was making five figures a month.
Yeah.
It wasn't killing it, but,
No.
it was, it's
mad still money coming in, right? So
it was mad money.
Yeah. Well,
that's what he bought all of his crypto with.
Oh, yeah. He was smart with how he put the crypto in, and he's
he just kept buying.
Yeah. And he's he's good. Anyways,
he's still doing it.
Yeah. No, he is. Yeah. Anyways, what I think is we've had a wonderful and fantastic interview here. And I'm glad you're here because
I'm glad to see Paul Farms made it back.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Hey, Paul.
I think Anthony and Jeff had to leave.
Yeah, it was a little bit long. This is long in the tooth, really, for an interview. I like, that 30 minutes
but
to an hour.
You can clip it out.
Well, I'm gonna keep some of it because it's information. It's good information. There's a few spots that we're dragging a little, but this is actually a wonderful type of thing to do. And again, everybody, if you want to go and subscribe to my channel, please do. Really appreciate it. And if you haven't, so do you have anything you want to say to everybody that's listening in?
Yeah, if you want the power tools, like James Dockett said, he had to leave. If you want the tools that I've been using, it's a little long on the URL, but I'll put it in the chat for you. doe.makeyourselfrecessionproof.com.
Yeah.
I'll
put that in the
Sue's got a copy, you got a copy. I think Jeff's got a copy. Jeff and I have been working for years.
Oh, nice.
He got a copy back in the original version. Shalisa, I think she's got a copy, and I'm showing people how to use it. I was on a call with Sue yesterday or was it the day before yesterday, Sue, when my water line broke and I had an emergency. Yeah, I was on a coaching call with Sue.
Yeah.
When I got that call, I'm saying, whoop. Okay. So yeah, I've showed Anthony how to use it. I'll show Paul how to use it. When he decides to snag a copy of it, you're not going to find anything like this. Okay. Charlie's a genius. He was a genius for buying it from Helen when he did back in 98. And then building it out where it is now. I had Charlie on an interview here about 2 or 3 weeks ago. He was on a Zoom call. It's up on my timeline.
No, that was interesting because I remember back in the day, it was always Mr. X. He was trying to promote a lot of different things,
Yeah. I didn't want, he's not the original Mr. X.
Oh, he's not. Okay. Yeah, because there was a Mr. X and he seemed to kill it for a while, then he just disappeared.
Yeah, I forgot what his name is, but he finally came out of the closet. But this Mr. X, I was referring to Charlie. It's just that I didn't want to reveal his identity because this is one of the things that Joe Vitale taught me. Give them a little bit of intrigue, get them buzzed up, get them in. We only had 5 people on the call, and that's okay. The recording, I'm working on the recording. I've got it saved, and I want to go through and edit it before I put it up on my server.
Mhm.
I don't want to put this up on YouTube because YouTube has a nasty habit of deplatforming people.
They
Okay.
do. Yeah, I can attest to that.
They've already taken down 2 videos that I put up on my Cash Now funnel,
Mhm.
saying that I was bullying and harassing, and I disputed it. And I told them, I said, no, I said, I think I'll sue you for false allegations. Okay. But that's another thing.
Mhm.
I just, I won't play their game. Okay.
No, that's good. Anyways,
Um,
I know
you cannot show passwords and login
well,
IDs, even if
anything
the
personal.
passwords are dotted
Yeah,
out. Yeah, they
yeah,
don't want you to do that. That
no,
I understand. Okay.
yeah.
But to accuse me of bullying and harassing, no, I
Mhm.
wasn't. No.
No.
I got some haters because I'm like Grant Cardone. If you don't have any haters, you're not going to have people that love you.
No.
You're going to
Yeah.
have them both.
Yeah.
So I'm saying I welcome the haters. Come on,
All right.
come get you a handful.
All right. So it was nice having you on, and also Paul.
Yeah.
It was nice. Celicia, Sue,
I'm glad you
Jeff.
guys could show up.
It was nice
And
that you could be
ask me.
here, and we'll hopefully see you the next time, and we'll just let you
And
know the time when it'll
yeah.
be. It's just I know that this other guy, he had only a specific time that he could to be on an interview. So I'm looking
And
forward
what
to
day
having
was
him.
that? Next
Again,
week?
it's on the Friday. Yeah,
Next Friday, 8
and
o'clock Eastern.
9 o'clock.
9
Eastern.
o'clock Eastern, 8
Yeah.
Central.
Yeah, that'll be
Okay.
it. Yeah. So, anyways, and it's going to be a shorter one because I have stuff that I have to do in the morning.
Yeah.
You know. Anyways, thank you again,
All
and
right.
everyone
Well,
enjoy
thank you for
your
having
day.
me.
You're welcome. I was really happy to have you. There's no two ways about it. Bye
All
now.
right.
So ending the Zoom. Bye bye.